Good morning, students. Today we are going to read very important question of Islamiyat. So concentrate yourself. Question is, describe the difficulties faced by the followers in Mecca. So concentrate, followers, not Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So in this question, we have to give the examples of the persecution to the common Muslims by the Meccans. And in second part, what can these stories teach Muslims in their everyday lives today? So for first part, the things required to mention in your question are named examples of both who were persecuted and the persecutors are needed. For example, some of the earliest martyrs. So we are going to read now. The Prophet ﷺ started his prophetic mission after 610 AD, and gradually the number of his followers began to increase. Initially, the poor and unsupported people embraced Islam, but slowly some well-off Meccans also became his followers. The Quraysh became furious on the growth of the Islam. They targeted the poor Muslims and unleashed a campaign of inhuman persecutions that got intensified with the passage of time. The list of the persecution is countless. Usman bin Affan was wrapped in the mat of the palm leaves by his pagan uncle who would set fire under him. Bilal the Negro was inhumanly tortured by his master Umayyah bin Khalf. He was tied in rope and dragged by the street boys on the order of the Umayyah. Umayyah used to tie hands of the Bilal and make him lie on the scorching desert sand with a heavy rock on his chest. Another victim of the Meccan cruelty was Amr bin Yasir. He and his parents paid a heavy price for embracing the new faith. Yasir died of the repeated torture, and Sumayya, Yasir's mother, was bayoneted to death by Abu Jahl. And thus she became the first woman martyr of the Islam. Khabab bin Arat was made to lie on the bed of the coals. Haris bin Abi Hala was also killed by Meccans when he was trying to protect the Holy Prophet ﷺ against his enemies. Saad bin Abi Waqas was struck by a sword while he was protecting the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Ubaidah, one of the earliest converts, also faced many persecutions at the hand of the Quraysh. So these were the persecutions by the Meccans to the poor Muslims. Now we are going to read some persecutions on the strong Muslims. It is to be noted that the Meccans did not spare even some of the rich people like Talha, Usman and Abu Bakr. Usman bin Affan was wrapped in mat of palm leaves by his pagan uncle who would set fire under him. Abu Bakr was dragged along by his beard when he had rushed to rescue the Prophet ﷺ from the Meccan chiefs. On the time of Hijrah, pagans caught Ali, subjected him to severe beating and incarcerated him in Masjid-e-Haram. Another early convert, Khabab bin al-Ar'ad, was tortured by branding his body with hot iron. Prominent Meccan chiefs who took the lead in persecutions were Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, Abu Sufyan, Walid bin Mughira, Utbah, Shaiba and Suhail bin Amr. All of them, however, were unsuccessful in their mission. So this was the first part, because the requirement was give some details of the persecutions of the Meccan people to the common Muslims. And in this part, we not only mentioned the cruelties of the Meccans to the poor people, but on the wealthy Muslims as well. Now, the second part is from these stories, what can we learn in the modern times? So, in second part, link the examples set by the followers with some life situations in modern times. So we are going to start now. These ancestors in faith of the Muslim community set examples of endurance, unshaken faith, sincerity, sacrifice, and commitment to the faith of Islam and to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Muslims today should keep the precedents of the first Islamic community whenever they face any difficult situation. They need to remember that their faith may be tested on such occasions because the Quran admires those who retain their faith in the times of the crisis. And Quranic saying is, "Be sure we shall test you with something of fear and hunger, some loss in goods or lives, or the fruits of your toil, but give glad tidings to those who patiently persevere." Muslims today may be ridiculed or rejected on various occasions of their lives. Many may continue to live a very hard life continuously, but they should keep strong hope in God's help, because He does extend His help when He says, "So verily, with every difficulty there is a relief." Muslims may face setbacks despite their best efforts in various walks of life, for example, planning a career or excelling in studies in educational institutes. On such occasions, they should associate such setbacks with God's decree and will, because the Quran affirmatively declares, "For to God do all questions go back for decisions." Just as the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his followers eventually got success in his mission, despite early setbacks and sufferings, Muslims should believe in ultimate success with the help of the God's support, no matter how frustrating the circumstances might be. Today we are living in times when the people tend to lose temper on the provocation. We should look to the noble examples of the early Muslims converts who would constantly face persecutions, rejection, and insult, but would remain undeterred. Muslims in the modern world are in great need of promoting such unity and fraternity showed by early converts, and not fall victim to sectarianism and disunity that negates the very basic teaching of Islam. We should promote mutual love and harmony and follow the examples of the conduct of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam set for us. So this was the question. Read it again, make your notes. This is very important question.